The Fire Inside is the story of Claressa Shields, who's arguably one of the greatest female boxers of all time, who you probably haven't heard of. And I think we all think it's crazy and unfair that nobody's heard of her. It's a story of resilience, both inside the ring and outside of it. It's a story of the American dream versus the American reality if you don't look a certain way or you weren't born a certain gender. And so it's a film that has, for me, something very important and additive to say in the world.
There is actually a documentary, which is what our film is based off of. And that documentary really became like my notebook, my Bible, throughout the entire filming process. So that was really, really helpful. And, we live in a day and age, too, where you can look stuff up on YouTube. So I also had that. But more than anything, it was also really great to have that communication with Claressa in a way that was just overall really encouraging. She's such a cool person off the bat, so the pressure really kind of went away when I actually got to talk to her and ask her any questions that I had. She was really, really open, and yeah, there were just so many little things that I got to have, and I think that's the positive in having a person that is still alive and well and still creating history.
Alive and well and still winning.
Yes, as we speak. So it was really cool. I had a lot of tools, so I'm really thankful for that.
This is my first biopic that I've ever done. So, there was a lot of pressure to truly embody these living, breathing people that are still alive and well and living lives. And you also want to do a greater service to them because you're showcasing their lives and the history of their lives. And the relationship of Jason and Claressa is a little, it's a little crunch, but we wanted to be honest about it. And I think Jason played such an integral part of getting her to where she was. There was truly a kinship between the two of them. And this man has so much heart and so much grit, and he did train one of the greatest champions, female boxing champions of our time. So I just wanted to make sure that I connected with that so that when he sat down and watched it, he wasn't rolling up on me in the street, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I really wanted to do him proud. I really did. And because there was a documentary and because, there were different elements that we could see, because he was also a championship boxer as well. So there were plenty of things to see. And with the direction of Rachel, honestly, she was so ingrained in it. I mean, lived it, breathed it. And knew everything about the both of them, had met with them, had been with them. And so that informed a lot of what I got to play. And then teaming up with Ryan was just the biggest no-brainer in the world.
A dream,
obviously. It was okay, once the two of us met each other, I mean, it just really fell into place. The chemistry completely fell into place. I mean, this woman was truly in it, boxing every day, running every day, but also bringing the heart to who Claressa is. And so with Jason, I just really wanted to make sure that I embodied somebody that, you got a chance to not only see his life, because we do get to see his personal life, his personal struggles, but also just the connection between he and Claressa and what that was.
We threw mitts on him and just started hitting him.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah,
really
they hit me a lot
in.
on this. I got to really take some force because she is one of the most powerful boxers, and so Ryan really, went method on this one, and and Rachel let her. So.
I think as Ryan and Brian alluded to, it was really incredible to have their support. But ultimately, we were making the film version of their lives, not living their lives for them. So, we use them as references. I would often call Claressa and be like, what were you listening to when you were training? We can't afford that, but we will look for something like that.
Let's try another one.
But even, I mean, as these guys were saying, I think it was such a luxury to have real people to fall back on, but also know where we had to take some cinematic license or, for visual reasons and otherwise make it our own. But yeah, I mean, how lucky are we that we made a movie about people who we can still reference.
And who wanted to have the story told. That was the greatest part for me, because not only are we talking about, a two-time gold medalist and, but also where they're from and where they came from and to truly tell a story that isn't just about this, one story of Flint, Michigan. We're also talking about the other side of the coin, the triumph of Flint, the resilience of Flint, the resilience of the people and the family of Flint.
The hardest I've ever trained in my life. And I really got into the best shape I've ever been in. So I was happy about that. But for the most part, I was exhausted. Like, I really was. And I pushed myself. And I knew it would be such a challenge. And, that was one of the things that, I really loved about it. I wanted to really take myself to a different level and, really challenge myself in ways that I never had before. So it was really cool. I got to train with a boxing trainer by the name of Rob Sally, who really became my partner in just like the pre-filming stages and everything that we had to take care of. It was really just me and him for a lot of the months that I was just prepping. So he was my crutch. And honestly, Rachel will tell you, I had an experience where we couldn't take him on to set. And I was like, oh, now I understand like what a boxing trainer and their coach and the boxer actually goes through when they can't have them there. Like it's a very mental, emotional experience. You feel lost. And I was like, oh my God, I know what this feels like. It was crazy. I was like, wow, so the movies are for real. Like it really is a real thing. So that was just an interesting thing, to go through. It was, like I said, very challenging, but I got through it. And I tell you what, after we said cut, I never saw a boxing glove again for at least another year or so.
The transformation is like unbelievable. I mean, I think even Claressa her jaw dropped when she saw what Ryan was capable of. And I want to say she did every one of her own stunts in this film.
I did.
Yeah, the fight sequences, like when we are reenacting the matches at the Olympics, or like, when she's doing, I mean, it's all incredible to watch Ryan and the way that Rachel captured it. Like, I've never seen this before, and it's a relationship that I've always been intrigued by, between coach and subject, especially when you're creating a champion, and especially when it's a young Black woman, with a Black coach, and like they're from the same area, this small town, and to really watch that relationship, because it is a whole nother thing. It really is another relationship. I think about Sha'Carri and, the past Olympic Sha'Carri and her coach, and like just watching them and like what that is, like the belief that he's pouring into her, that you are the best. Like, actually you are the best. And like, and becomes this amazing codependent slash but it is truly one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, and it's never been captured before. So, it takes a lot of trust and a lot of care. I remember there was a scene where you were running beside the van, and and it's like 4 a.m, and she's got to run beside this van, and I'm honking the horn like, let's go. I really wanted to kind of provide that for Ryan too, because I'm like, this is not easy, but I believe in her so much. So yeah, I think that's one of the greatest parts about this story, is watching that relationship.
And there's an added dynamic to this relationship, which is that Claressa was 16, 17 when this was happening. So there's also in addition to the codependency of a coach and a student, it's also like a father figure. Yeah.
If Brian did not step in and be who he is, the person that he is, I don't think I would have been able to do any of it. So I'm so thankful for him and his leadership, and just being an amazing, amazing person, and someone that is just a perfect person to look up to during the entire process. And he really held my hand throughout the whole thing. So I'm just thankful for him.
Well, that check's not going to clear, but thank you.
I'm so over you.
I mean, no, truly, she is like, it was, I don't know, I made an incredible best friend, and to watch her step into this star, like to watch her step into just the strength of her being able to do what she did, is a huge reason why I wanted to be there. Because I mean, Ryan is absolutely phenomenal as a person, but in this role, it's like people are going to be completely just like floored. And to watch her recognize the possibility of what she could do, and I had to have a front row seat for that. So thank you. Like, I love you, man. I really do. It was
I
really
love
great.
you. I paid him to say that.
Yeah, so that.